My sister-in-law, Anna, 38, female, had her baby shower recently. It was supposed to be a fun, happy day, but my mother-in-law, Abigail, 65, female, had too much to drink and turned it into something none of us will ever forget. I always knew she was controlling, but that day she said things that made me realize just how far she was willing to go. Abigail had always been controlling. From the beginning, she wanted to have a say in everything: her sons' careers, marriages, and even how they raised their kids. She disguised her manipulation as concern, but it was all about power. If someone did not follow her wishes, she used guilt, anger, or even emotional blackmail. She dictated holiday plans, criticized parenting choices, and acted like she knew better than everyone else. For years, she got away with it. Anna and her husband, Wyatt, 38, male, were expecting their second child. They already had a 3-year-old son. The baby shower was a big celebration for them. My husband Sam, 34, male, and I were there to support them. I thought it would be a normal family gathering with maybe a few awkward moments, but nothing too bad. Then there was Abigail. She had been drinking since she arrived. At first, she was just a little loud and talkative, which was not unusual for her. People laughed it off. But as the event went on, she got worse. Halfway through, she grabbed the microphone to give a speech, and that's when everything changed. At first, she talked about how happy she was for Anna and Wyatt. She said how much she loved them, how excited she was to have another grandchild. It all seemed normal. Then she started talking about how she always wanted a big family. She said her dream was to have at least 5 grandkids. That was when she said something shocking. She told everyone that she had helped Anna and Wyatt get to this point. She said she had done something to make sure they had another child. Then she laughed and said she had messed with Anna's birth control. I could not believe what I was hearing. She said it like it was no big deal, like it was funny. She went on about how Anna and Wyatt had been wasting time and how she just gave them a little push in the right direction. I looked at Anna and she was frozen. Wyatt looked like he was about to explode. The room was silent. Nobody knew what to say. Then Abigail turned to me. She smiled and said that Sam and I were next. She said she could not wait for our family to grow. Then she made a joke about how I shouldn't worry about when it would happen because she would take care of it just like she did with Anna. I felt sick. My hands were shaking. I did not even want to look at Sam. My mind was racing. All the weird comments she had made in the past about us having kids. All the times she offered to help with my birth control. All the little jokes about how accidents happen. It all made sense now. This was not just a pushy mother-in-law who wanted grandkids. She was actively trying to control when and how it happened. I could not believe she had actually done this to Anna. I could not believe she was standing there in front of all of us admitting to it. She was proud of it. She acted like she had done something good. I looked at Anna again. Her hands were gripping the armrest of her chair so tightly that her knuckles were white. Wyatt's face was red. He looked furious. But Abigail just kept smiling. She did not care about the tension in the room. She did not care that people were staring at her in shock. She really thought she had done something amazing. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask her what she had done to Anna's birth control. Has she been planning something for me? Has she already tried? I sat there frozen, unable to move, unable to think clearly. My mind was racing. What was I supposed to do now? People started whispering. Some of the guests looked at each other wide-eyed, not sure if they should say something. A few of Anna's friends looked at her, waiting for a reaction, but she just sat there, silent. Wyatt finally stood up. He looked at Abigail, his mother, with a look I had never seen before. His hands were clenched into fists. He opened his mouth and then closed it. He was struggling, trying to find words. Abigail did not seem to notice. She just laughed again, like this was some funny family joke. Then she started talking again. She went on about how she had done what was best for Anna and Wyatt. She said they had been too focused on their careers and that if it weren't for her, they might not have had another child. She called herself a helpful mother who just wanted to see her family grow. My stomach turned. She did not even understand what she had done. She thought she had the right to decide when her children had kids. She thought this was her choice to make, and now she was looking at me. She went on about how she knew Sam and I were holding off on kids, and she thought that was a shame. She said it in a way that made my skin crawl, like she was already planning something, like she was trying to find a way to make it happen, whether we wanted it or not. I felt Sam's hand on mine. It was shaking. I finally turned to look at him, and his face was pale. He looked like he was about to be sick. Anna finally stood up. She did not say anything. She just walked out of the room. Wyatt followed her. I could hear the sound of the door opening and closing. For a moment, no one moved. No one spoke. Abigail looked around, clearly confused. She did not understand why Anna had left. She actually looked hurt, like she thought her daughter-in-law should have been grateful. Sam let go of my hand and stood up. He did not say anything either. He just grabbed my arm gently and pulled me up. I knew what he wanted. He wanted to leave. I wanted to leave. I did not sleep that night. Sam was just as shaken. I could tell he was struggling, trying to process everything. His mother had crossed so many lines, but this was something else entirely. This was not just meddling. This was not just being overbearing. This was complete and total control, and she did not even see it that way. Anna and Wyatt did not reach out. I was not sure if they wanted space or if they just did not know what to say. I didn't blame them. I didn't know what to say either. Abigail, though, she acted like nothing was wrong. The next morning, she sent a message in the family group chat, thanking everyone for coming to the baby shower. She even said it was such a special day and that she loved watching her family grow. I stared at the message for a long time. Did she really not understand what she had done? Did she think we had all just moved on? A few hours later, she started calling. First, she called Sam. He did not even look at his phone. He just let it ring. Then my phone started ringing. I put it on silent. She called again and again and again. Finally, she left a message. Her voice was light, almost cheerful. She said she was confused about why no one was answering her. She said she hoped we weren't mad because she did not mean anything by it. That was when I realized she really did not get it. She thought this was just a little misunderstanding. She thought she could smooth it over with a few calls and some fake concern. But the damage was done. Wyatt finally sent a message in the group chat. It was short. He just said that he and Anna needed some time and that they did not want to talk right now. Abigail did not like that. She responded almost immediately, saying she did not understand why everyone was so upset and that she only ever wanted what was best for her children. Then she doubled down. She said she could not believe we were turning on her after everything she had done for us. I wanted to scream. Everything she had done for us? What did that even mean? Did she think messing with Anna's birth control was some kind of favor? Did she think her constant pressure, her manipulations, her control over every aspect of our lives was something we should be grateful for? Over the next few days, it got worse. She sent more messages. She sent long paragraphs about how she was misunderstood and how she only wanted to help. She told us we were overreacting and that we needed to move past this. Then she started playing the victim. She told extended family members that we were shutting her out for no reason. She told them we had turned against her just because she wanted grandkids. She told them we were being cruel to her. Some of them believed her. A few of them reached out saying we should forgive and forget because family is everything. I wanted to scream. Family is everything? What about our choices? What about our boundaries? What about the fact that she had literally admitted to messing with Anna's birth control and then threatened to do the same to me? Were we just supposed to let that go? Anna finally spoke up. She sent a message to the family chat saying that Abigail had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. She said she needed time. She said she and Wyatt were taking a break from the family. That set Abigail off. She started sending rapid-fire messages saying how devastated she was and how she never meant to hurt anyone. She said she could not believe Anna was punishing her like this. She still did not get it. Then she did something even worse. She showed up at Anna and Wyatt's house unannounced. She knocked on the door, crying, saying she just wanted to talk. Anna refused to let her in. Wyatt told her to leave. Abigail started wailing. She sat on their porch for an hour, sobbing loudly, making a scene. Neighbors started watching. She didn't care. She wanted to be seen. She wanted to be the victim. Finally, Wyatt called their father, who came to get her. That should have been the end of it, but it was not. She called me next. I did not answer. She left another message. This one was different. It was not cheerful. It was not a fake concern. It was full of anger. She said she knew I was the reason Sam was not talking to her. She said she knew I was turning him against her. She said I was selfish for not wanting kids yet. Then she said she felt sorry for Sam because he married someone who did not respect family values. I felt sick. She actually believed she had the right to decide when we had kids. She actually thought I was the problem because I wanted control over my own body. I blocked her number. Sam blocked her too. For days, she kept reaching out. Through other family members, through emails, through social media. She refused to let it go. She refused to take responsibility. She refused to admit she was wrong. I felt like I was losing my mind. Anna and Wyatt decided to cut contact. They told Abigail they would not be speaking to her for a long time, if ever. That sent her into another spiral. More messages, more drama, more playing the victim. Then came the final straw. She sent an email to all of us. A long, dramatic email about how she was done trying and how she was washing her hands of us. She said she did not deserve this treatment and that she would not waste her energy on ungrateful children anymore. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. She said that one day we would regret pushing her away. It felt like a threat. I did not know what she meant by it, but it scared me. Anna was done. She deleted the email, blocked her, told the rest of the family she was finished. Sam and I, we weren't sure what to do. Part of me wanted to cut her off completely, and part of me wondered if it was even worth trying to explain to her one more time why this was so wrong. But the truth was, I did not think she would ever understand. She did not see what she did as wrong. She still thought she was the victim. And now she was playing that role for the whole family to see. So now I'm here wondering, AITA for not forgiving my mother-in-law for what she did? For not wanting her in my life anymore? For refusing to pretend this was just some innocent mistake? Update 1. It has been 2 months since I posted. First of all, Anna gave birth and had a beautiful baby girl. As for Abigail, she has not given up. If anything, she's become more determined. Cutting her off may have given us some peace initially, but she refused to accept any consequences for her actions. In her mind, she had done nothing wrong, and we were the villains in her story. At first, she tried reaching out with endless messages from different numbers, all full of self-pity and accusations. When no one responded, she escalated. The social media meltdown. She posted long, dramatic messages about how her children had turned against her because of outside influence. She painted herself as a loving mother and grandmother who had been cast aside unfairly. She even tried to gain sympathy by claiming that we were being cruel by denying her access to future grandchildren. When that didn't work, she turned to extended family, spinning the story to make herself look like a victim. Some distant relatives fell for it and messaged us, urging us to be kinder. Anna and I decided to share our side of the story, making it clear what Abigail had done. That shut most people up, but a few still insisted that we were being too harsh. The most shocking moment came when we discovered that Abigail had reached out to one of Wyatt's co-workers, attempting to warn them about us. She claimed we were unstable, manipulative, and had turned Wyatt against his own mother. Fortunately, the co-worker saw through her lies and informed Wyatt immediately. That was the final straw. Wyatt and Sam got a lawyer involved and officially sent Abigail a cease and desist letter, warning her to stop contacting us or spreading lies. This seemed to scare her into silence for a while, but deep down I knew it was not over. A week later, Anna discovered that Abigail had made a fake social media account and had been messaging her under a different name, pretending to be an old friend. She was trying to gather information about how we were handling the situation. Anna caught on quickly and blocked the account, but it left us all feeling uneasy. Abigail was not done. She was just changing tactics. Then came the guilt tripping. She sent handwritten letters to us and even to some of our extended family members. She wrote about how she was old and lonely and how she had given up her whole life for her children, only to be abandoned. She never mentioned what she had actually done, only that she was a poor mother being shunned. Some relatives believed her and urged us to reconcile. We held our ground. When the sympathy card did not work, she snapped again. She started showing up at Sam's workplace. She did not cause a scene, but she sat in the parking lot for hours, waiting for him to come out. Sam saw her, but ignored her completely. That night, we made sure all our security cameras were working. If she was willing to stalk us at work, what would stop her from coming to our house again? Anna and Wyatt took things a step further and filed a restraining order. Abigail was furious when she was served the paperwork. She sent one final bitter email to the whole family, blaming everyone but herself. She called us cruel, brainwashed, and insisted that one day we would regret cutting her off. She made it clear that she did not believe she had done anything wrong. The only mistake she thought she made was choosing to love us too much. That was weeks ago. We have not heard from her since, but I will not pretend it has been easy. Every time my phone rings from an unknown number, I feel a jolt of anxiety. Every time I see an unfamiliar car parked near our home, I wonder if it's her. She's not the type to truly let go. She thrives on control. And now that she has none, I worry about what she'll do next. The family is still divided. Some people fully support us. Others think we should forgive and forget. But how do you forgive someone who will not even admit they did anything wrong? How do you forget when you know they do it again in a heartbeat? Abigail might be silent now, but I know she's just waiting. She's waiting for an opportunity to sneak back in, to play the victim, or to find a new way to manipulate us. And I refuse to let that happen. Update 2. A few months after we cut Abigail out of our lives, things had been quiet, too quiet. At first it was a relief, but deep down we knew it would not last. Abigail had never been the type to just accept defeat and move on. She had spent years controlling and manipulating the people around her, and she was not about to stop now. Still, we hoped that she had finally understood the consequences of her actions and would just let us live in peace. That hope shattered when we started hearing rumors. Little things at first, whispers from extended family members, messages from people who had seen her out and about. We ignored most of it, figuring it was just her usual attempts at damage control, spinning a narrative that painted herself as the victim. But then one day, we got a call from a family friend who was too shaken to keep quiet. Abigail had been asking questions, specific disturbing questions. She had apparently been reaching out to anyone who might have legal knowledge, trying to figure out how a grandparent could take custody of a child from their parents. She was not even being subtle about it. She asked about legal loopholes, about what kind of evidence would be needed to prove a parent unfit, about what circumstances could lead to a court deciding in favor of a grandparent. And she was not just asking out of curiosity. She was making it clear that she wanted to use this information for herself. We were horrified. It did not take much to put the pieces together. She had always been obsessed with having more grandchildren, to the point of messing with Anna's birth control to get her way. Now that she had lost access to Anna's baby and any future grandchildren from us, she was clearly looking for a way to force herself back into our lives. At first, we tried to convince ourselves that she would not actually go through with anything. Maybe she was just lashing out, trying to find some way to make us scared, to make us give in and talk to her again. But the more we heard, the clearer it became that she was not just venting. She was actively trying to build a case, and that was terrifying. We found out that she had been talking to old friends of hers, trying to see if anyone would back her up if she tried to claim that Anna and Wyatt were unfit parents. She hinted that Anna was too overwhelmed and that she was not taking care of the baby properly. She had even reached out to a lawyer, someone she knew from years ago, to ask about how a grandparent could get emergency custody. The more we uncovered, the worse it got. Anna and Wyatt were shaken when we told them. They were already dealing with enough, trying to move past what Abigail had done, and now they had to worry about her trying to legally take their child. We all knew there was no real case to be made. Anna and Wyatt were amazing parents, and no one in their right mind would believe Abigail's lies. But that did not mean she could not cause problems. We knew how manipulative she was. We knew that if she got in front of the right people, she could at least make life difficult for them. And worst of all, she was unpredictable. We had no idea what she was planning next. The more we thought about it, the more we realized that we needed to take action before things got worse. Abigail had already shown that she had no boundaries. She had already proven that she was willing to cross every line to get what she wanted, and now she was actively seeking out ways to undermine Anna and Wyatt's rights as parents. That is when we started discussing whether to file a police report. We had proof, witnesses who had heard her talking about her plans, messages where she had hinted at what she was trying to do, and most importantly, we had the knowledge that she had already tampered with Anna's birth control, proving that she was willing to interfere in deeply personal, disturbing ways. The fact that she had done something so invasive in the past made it all the more believable that she would try something extreme again. But we hesitated. Filing a police report felt like an enormous step. It would mean escalating things in a way we weren't sure we were ready for. Would it make things worse? Would it push her to become even more desperate? We did not want to underestimate her, but we also did not want to put ourselves in a position where we were constantly looking over our shoulders, waiting for her next move. Anna and Wyatt were the ones who would be most affected by whatever decision we made. It was their child, she was targeting, their lives she was trying to disrupt. They were terrified that if she found the right person to listen to her, it could create a nightmare of legal battles and unnecessary stress. Even though we knew Abigail had no real case, the idea of having to fight her in any way was exhausting. Sam and I tried to think logically about it. We knew that the police likely would not take immediate action just based on what we had heard. But we also knew that having something on record could be important if she ever tried anything more serious. At the very least, it would show that we had been aware of her behavior and had taken steps to protect ourselves. In the end, we decided to gather every piece of information we could. We reached out to people who had heard her talking and asked if they would be willing to make statements. Some were hesitant. They did not want to get involved, didn't want to make an enemy out of Abigail, but a few understood the seriousness of the situation and agreed to help. Anna and Wyatt also started making sure their home security was as strong as possible. They installed cameras, changed the locks, and made sure that Abigail had no way of getting near them. It felt extreme, but we could not afford to take chances. Meanwhile, Abigail must have realized that something was up because she suddenly went silent. The calls to people asking about custody stopped. She stopped reaching out to old friends for legal advice. It was like she had gone into hiding. That scared us even more. We had no idea what she was planning next. We have not filed the police report yet, but we are pretty scared of what might happen. We do not trust Abigail at all, and we do not know what she might do. I'll give you guys an update if something happens. Update 3. Even after everything Abigail had done, we still hadn't seen the worst of it. We had blocked her, cut her off, made it clear that we wanted nothing to do with her, but she was not done with us yet. A few months after she tried to report Anna and Wyatt to CPS, we started hearing rumors. At first we ignored them. We had learned not to let Abigail's actions control our emotions, but then someone from Sam's workplace pulled him aside and asked him if everything was okay at home. Confused, he pressed for details. And that is when we found out what was happening. Abigail had started spreading the most disgusting, vile rumors about us. She was telling people that Sam and I were abusive to each other, to our home. She claimed that Sam had anger issues and that I was emotionally unstable. She painted us as an unfit couple who should never be parents. She must have known that CPS was not going to work, so she went for another tactic. She started telling people that if we ever had children, they would need to be rescued from us. She hinted that we were unsafe, that we had dark secrets, and that our future kids would be in danger. It was terrifying. We had already cut her off, and yet she was still trying to ruin our lives from the shadows. The worst part? Some people believed her. A few family members started acting distant, and some friends hesitated before inviting us to gatherings. The damage was small at first, but it was growing. She had planted a seed of doubt, and that was all she needed. When we found out the full extent of her lies, we knew we had to act. This was not just about family drama anymore. This was dangerous. If the wrong person believed her, we could end up being investigated over false accusations, and that was a risk we weren't willing to take. We took legal steps to make sure she could never interfere in our lives again. We warned family members that if they continued to spread her lies, we would take action against them as well. Abigail tried to play innocent, pretending she had done nothing wrong. She cried to other family members, acting like the victim, but it did not work this time. Her lies had gone too far. In the end, we did what we should have done a long time ago. We cut her out completely. Not just from our personal lives, but legally as well. We made sure she had no power over us, no way to hurt us again. Sam and Wyatt are still struggling in their own ways. No matter how much Abigail has hurt them, she is still their mother. That truth is hard to accept. And there are moments when the weight of it is heavy. Wyatt has been focusing on Anna and their kids, making sure they feel secure after all the chaos Abigail caused. He's doing his best to move forward. Sam, too, has had moments where he struggles with everything. He is angry, hurt, and exhausted from the endless drama, but he refuses to let Abigail control his life any longer. Despite it all, we are doing well together. We've grown stronger through this, and our relationship has only grown stronger. We refuse to let Abigail's actions define us, and we are focusing on our future without her in it. And finally, for the first time in a long time, we feel safe. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.